Hello and welcome to our second sea day here on Island Princess on our journey from Greenland back to Southampton.
Hi, if you're new to our channel, we are Tom and Dom Travel and we release a new cruise related video every single week. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you press that subscribe button and give this video a like.
Now our second sea day started off quite late as we had a lie-in, so we managed to get up around 10 AM and then ordered a couple of coffees to our room through the Medallion app room service option.
We've lost another hour today, so the clocks have gone forward again. So on top of losing an hour yesterday, we've also lost one today as well.
Because we were up so late, we decided to grab another couple of coffees and have a little walk around the Prom. The weather today wasn't too bad, a little bit cloudy, but it was quite fresh. We did a couple of laps around the Prom where we built our appetite before we headed to lunch.
The weather had vastly improved from yesterday's very rocky start, and it was looking like it was going to be a really nice day. Now we walked the Prom, and unfortunately it's not a full wraparound. Island Princess had a number of alterations and tweaks done a few years ago, and they pretty much cut off the aft of the ship, so you can no longer walk all the way round. You actually have to walk through the aft lift lobby in order to complete a lap. You can walk all the way across the front, however it's not very clear and it does look like the Prom ends abruptly.
After walking around the Prom, we then headed to the main dining room, the Bordeaux Restaurant, where we went for lunch. For lunch today, I again ordered a soup, which was the white bean soup. To me, it came a little bit thick and it wasn't so nice, but I ate about half the bowl.
And for my starter, I was so excited. I've had this dish before on Princess and I absolutely love it. It's the wheel pasta with sausage and green peas, and it is delicious. It was slightly different than last time I remember. However, I thoroughly enjoyed it and I've got to recommend it because it is spectacular.
Then for our main meal, I ordered myself the pasta with the meatball. Now the meatball was quite big and the pasta was very tasty. I ate about half my pasta and meatball because it was very filling, but I really enjoyed it.
And for my main, I went for the Greek spanakopita.
You did.
And it was very tasty. However, it was very small.
Yeah, so compared to my main meal, which was a very substantial meal, Dom had the opposite, which seemed very little on the plate.
Two small spanacopitas. They were delicious. However, there could have been a little bit more added to the meal.
Then for my dessert, I had probably one of the best chocolate desserts I've had yet, which was the chocolate pecan pie. It was really tasty, really dense chocolate. I found that fantastic.
For my dessert, I went for the baked apple and custard tart, and it was okay. I've got to say, it wasn't the best thing I've ever eaten. It was a little bit mushy, but it was okay.
We then headed up to the top decks for a little walk around, just for a bit more fresh air, because as we said, the weather was improving. We did find ourselves back into the conservatory area after a few laps of the top deck and noticed that they had drained the pool, which had resolved the issues of yesterday, where those poor pool attendants were having to sweep the water back down the drains every 2 minutes when waves from the pool gushed out over the sides.
In the conservatory though, they did have a large section closed off due to one of the glass panels in the ceiling being completely shattered somehow.
There is a sign there to say they are hopefully fixing it, but it doesn't look like that's going to be possible until the ship is in port. That means that some of the conservatory has now been closed off.
All for health and safety reasons, of course, but it just goes to show that it might collapse at any moment.
Yeah, we don't know how a pane at the top of the conservatory managed to smash, so it's a bit of a mystery for us.
Another one of Princess's staple pieces of entertainment is the egg drop. We quickly hurried to deck 7 of the Princess Plaza to watch all of the hilarity ensue.
Now, normally the egg drop is one of the most popular events on a Princess ship, where people come up with all sorts of contraptions in order to save their egg from being dropped from the top of the plaza down to the bottom. However, we were absolutely shocked to find when we got there were only about 3 contestants wanting to take part. So it must have been the shortest egg drop ever, because it was over before it started, really. Very short.
Considering how much planning and preparation goes into ensuring the plastic sheeting is all placed down, everything is cordoned off to ensure no slippages. Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing.
We've been on other Princess ships where we've been there hours watching these egg drops, so it's a big difference to see that it was only about 10 minutes in length, the whole thing. While we were in the Princess Plaza, we then headed to the Future Cruise Centre.
It's located up on deck 8. Now, we have mentioned that we've been in to price up a few cruises. Unfortunately, the timings aren't right. However, there are some absolutely incredible deals to be had on board. What Princess do offer is a future cruise deposit scheme where you can put down a deposit of $100 or £75, and then you can use that towards your next Princess cruise. And if you do, you get some onboard spending money.
Now, we believe that it's worth doing because even if you don't use that £75 deposit, $100, then that will be refunded to you after 12 months.
It's a win-win situation. If you are planning on booking another Princess cruise, why not get yourself some additional onboard credit? As it was another sea day, the entertainment staff and team have planned a whole host of activities. We went into the Wheelhouse Bar where there was a dance class and it was full.
2 members of the production team were doing a dance class and it was absolutely packed in there. It's really, really popular. There were several dance classes on throughout the day, including a Zumba class, a general dance class, a ballroom class, so there's lots going on. Other activities that went on today included golf, which happened outside the Bayou Café.
They'd stuck down a number of paper cups and used those as the goals, or whatever you call them. Neither of us play golf.
Now, golf outside the Bayou Café proved very popular, but it did cause a bit of distraction for other passengers who were trying to make it through because they had to walk through the golf that was taking place. Now, the interesting thing here is that Island Princess did used to have its own putting area, but it has been closed the whole of this cruise, and it is our understanding it's been closed for around a year now. So there is space on Island Princess to do it properly. They have got the facilities, but it seems to be that it's not being used.
That's up on deck 15 between the photo studio and the indoor pool.
Please let us know if you have actually used the actual facilities for golf on board Island Princess or any other Princess ships. We'd like to know what it actually looks like because both doors are locked and we can't get in there.
We have tried.
Once we left Bayou Café, we passed by Explorers Lounge where bingo was happening once again with Fortuna Luck. Luck. If you're a fan of bingo, like we said, it's American style bingo, but there is a lot of bingo that goes on board. We also passed the casino. Casino was open, tables were open, and it was very busy.
We then headed up to deck 15, the pool deck, and just grabbed a couple of sun loungers, sat there and relaxed for a few hours. As we said, we've had a really great but busy cruise, and we're just enjoying the nice relaxed pace here on board Island Princess.
Every afternoon up on the pool deck there is a movie or a concert being shown. If that's something you enjoy, head up there because we've had such a mix of concerts. We've had Katy Perry, we've had Harry Styles, we've even had Michael Bublé.
We then made our way down back to our cabin to get ready for the evening, and we were greeted with a very special surprise.
We couldn't believe it. We had an envelope and we thought, oh no, what's happened now? So Dom opened the envelope eagerly and let out a little squeal because we have been kindly invited for a tour of the bridge.
Yeah, very excited. Nobody's ever invited us before and we cannot wait. It's going to be on the final sea day. We've got to keep it 100% secret because spaces are limited and they don't want a full rush on the bridge.
Yeah, so you are getting to know first because we haven't been able to tell anyone else. This evening we did something different, and instead of going to the main dining room we headed to the Bayou Café, which is now the onboard steakhouse. The menu has changed on this cruise because when we arrived on boarding day we took a picture of the menu and it looked very interesting, so we booked ourselves into the restaurant. However, when we arrived at the restaurant today the menu is completely different and it has now basically turned into the Crown Grill you know and love from other ships.
Now, we've eaten in the Crown Grill on Sky and on Enchanted, and we were a little bit miffed because here on Island Princess it's exactly the same price, $39. However, instead of the 4 courses you get on the Royal class ships, there's only 3.
So on the entrance to the Bayou there was a little bit of a queue. There were about 4 or 5 other couples ahead of us, which was a bit of a shame. However, everyone was being seated over by the windows, whether that was in a window seat itself or on an inside table. But when it came to us, the maitre d' decided to sit us on our own in a corner away from everybody else. It felt a little bit strange, like we were a bit separate from everybody. We were then offered a drink, which we took up, glass of Pinot Noir as usual, and they gave us a basket of bread.
If you've got a drink package, the drinks in the Bayou, as long as they're under 15 or within your package, are included.
Once we received our bread, that was the first disappointment, because when we'd previously been in Crown Grill, we were given the bread with hot melted gooey cheese.
Yeah, the garlic cheesy bread that they do.
And it was absolutely beautiful. In fact, we'd asked in other Crown Grills for extra of that bread because it was so nice.
Unfortunately, here on Island Princess, it was cold and just mixed in with all the other bits of bread. So it wasn't the great sort of experience that we know and love from other Crown Grills.
So that was the first slight disappointment, but we thought, okay, no problem, we'll carry on. We then ordered our starter. So I went for the salad as my starter, which did come and was beautiful. The little French dressing on the side was also very tasty.
I went for the black and blue French onion soup, which I've had before. It was absolutely delicious, exactly the same as I remembered. However, on previous visits to the Crown Grill, the black and blue soup came in a beautifully presented bowl. Unfortunately, here on Island Princess, it was just in one of those pie pots from the main dining room. Not very exciting.
If you're going to do the Crown Grill menu, you've got to deliver the Crown Grill experience. We're not getting that at the moment. Even the waiting staff don't seem to know much about it, do they? Then our main course came. We both ordered filet mignon, medium. So the waiter brought our thing, and the first thing he asked us, which we thought was quite strange, was, can you both cut your steaks open for me?
Which we've never been asked before. Ever.
So, yeah, no. So what we both said first was, can you give us a second? Because obviously we wanted to take a picture of our steaks. He then came over with the salt. He just put a bit of salt on our plate, and we said, oh, have you not got the other salts that you get?
So charcoal, Himalayan.
He said, oh, I'll go and have a look for them. So he came back, and to be fair to them, he did have the different salts. But by this stage, we had cut our steaks, and even though we'd both ordered them medium, I think mine was cooked okay. Yours was cooked completely the opposite. Yours is probably rare.
Mine was still mooing. Literally, I cut into it and the blood and the juices just filled the plate.
Yeah.
If you do like a rear steak, fantastic. I don't enjoy a rear steak, so he took away my steak and Tom continued to eat his. We waited probably five minutes, not too long, and then my steak was then presented to me once again on a plate, and unfortunately it was still rare. Essentially what they'd done, where I cut it down the middle, they just seared the edges and then stuck it back together and put it on my plate. So I was like, oh, okay. So I cut it open and unfortunately it was still blood raw.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
And by this time I had then finished my meal, and they did come to say to them, oh, how's the steak? And you explained to them it is exactly the same. So it wasn't a great main meal at all. And to be honest, they didn't really say anything to us. They were like, okay. Off they went.
Off they went. How was your meal? Not very good.
Okay. So yeah, really, really strange experience.
Yeah. In addition to our mains, we also had one of every side. So that was garlic and herb fries, sautéed mushrooms, cream spinach, and baked potato, which came with some sour cream and a number of little toppings like bacon and chives. Very, very nice.
And the sides were very tasty, so I did enjoy them. Unfortunately, you didn't have much chance to eat yours because you were pretty put off by your meal.
Then on to dessert, and we both went for the triple chocolate treasure. Now, once again, we've had this before.
Yeah.
Absolutely delicious. However, this time
it's slightly changed in design. We had 2 macarons on it last time, it's now down to 1. But this dessert was now smaller in size and more covered in chocolate, but it was rock hard.
Yeah, it was very difficult to sort of get into. It may sound like we're being really picky, but you really did have to press down, and you could have done with a really sharp knife to break it off. However, once you managed it, it was absolutely delicious.
Also during the meal, we ordered a couple of glasses of wine as we were going along, but unfortunately we seemed to wait more time for the wine to arrive than actually we spent drinking it. It was very, very slow service.
I think it didn't help that we were sat round the corner in a little sort of cubby hole out the way, so they couldn't really see what was going on the table.
No. If you want to see how we've got on in the Crown Grill before, we have 2 other Crown Grill videos, one from Sky Princess and one from Enchanted Princess, so you could be able to compare the difference between what our experience has been like here and what the meals look like and what they were like there. After our meal in the Bayou, we headed to Good Spirits to grab a drink, but unfortunately once again the Good Spirits mixologist is not available, so we couldn't have a drink. All we wanted was an ultimate gin and tonic, so nothing too complicated, but then we were told no, none of us know how to make it. Come back in half half an hour.
Our Good Spirits experience hasn't been the greatest on board. When we can get a drink, absolutely beautiful.
We ended up leaving Good Spirits with just an ordinary gin and tonic and headed straight to the theatre, because tonight was the second performance of Yaniv Zarif, who is going to be doing a Broadway style show tonight.
The theatre was absolutely full. A lot of passengers have been talking about his first performance and just how amazing it was, so we weren't surprised when pretty much it was standing room only.
Once again was a fantastic performance. He did lots of Broadway classics. He had a story behind every song that he sang, and he also brought out a surprise guest.
Yes, Janine joined him on stage for a really spectacular song. It was amazing performance throughout.
He got a standing ovation at the end, and it was definitely deserved.
So if you do get the opportunity to see him, absolutely go. He is fantastic.
After the show, we headed to the Explorers Lounge for our late night entertainment, and let me tell you, it was our latest night in there so far. Normally in the Explorers Lounge it tends to close just after 12 really, where it is quite late and there's not many people there. However, tonight it managed to go on till about 2 o'clock.
When we first got there, we sat at the bar with Carol, John and Stephen, had a few drinks, really enjoyed the evening. The bar team were on point, absolutely fantastic. It was a really good evening with great company. As Tom said, everything usually stops. They start packing away and closing down the bar around about 12:15. However, tonight it stayed open and the drinks just kept coming.
The entertainment team still were doing the disco later on at the night, so we even ended up having a little bit of a dance.
That's how free-flowing these drinks were.
It was about 2 a.m. when we left, and we headed back up to the cabin where we ordered ourselves some room service. As we ordered room service much later than we normally do, the room service was there super speedy. We didn't have to wait at all, which was great. We didn't want to wait at all.
And we thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was needed after all of those drinks.
It was.
We've had a really good couple of sea days so far on board Island Princess, and we're really looking forward to the last two.
Our next sea day is going to be a real highlight because we've got a production show in the main theatre, and this production show is called The Secret Silk.
Now, this production show has been put on in addition to the 3 that we thought we were going to have.
We are really looking forward to the show, so we'll tell you about how it goes in the next episode.
Thanks for watching our sea day here on Island Princess. If you've got any comments or questions, just pop them in the box below and we'll get back to you.
And please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification button to never miss a video from us. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
Thanks for watching. We've got lots more content available on our YouTube channel, so press that subscribe button. If you're interested in receiving daily updates, we're available on most social media platforms. Just search for Tom and Dom Travel.